There we go.
Hey, this is Uncle Ricky. Welcome to another episode of Uncle Ricky's House. This episode is kind of special. It's a local politics interview with the candidate for re-election for the 3rd District seat in the Board of Supervisors in Nottoway County, Virginia. A lifelong friend of mine, Democratic candidate for that seat that she already holds. She's going for re-election. None other than Mrs. Helen Simmons, candidate for re-election for the 3rd District seat on the Board of Supervisors. Let's see what Helen has to say.
Okay, my name is Helen Simmons, and I've been on the Board of Supervisors for 9 years. I started out volunteering in the schools when my daughter went to school, Ramika, and I volunteered and worked my way up, and I started out being on the school board. I was on the school board for 7 years. And
I've known Helen since first grade, all the way back at Ingleside Elementary School in Burkeville. We graduated same year in 76, so we go a long ways back. And knowing Helen then and now, I was kind of surprised to learn that she had actually made that dive into politics. But I guess we all grow up and we all go on to do different things. Let's hear some more of what Ms. Helen Simmons has to say about being a supervisor in Nottoway County, Virginia.
yes. I didn't think I was the type of person to go into politics either, but it just turned out that way because there was a need in the school system for people that really cared to be on the board, because there were needs for the teachers and needs for the children. And anytime I could make a child smile, it was always a great thing for me. So I started out with my daughter when she was in kindergarten, and fundraising, and I did Girl Scouts with her, and I would take my kids wherever I went. So I decided that I wanted to be on the school board, and I took William King's place. William King was the representative for District 3. So I told him I would run, and he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'll run." So I was on the school board for 7 years. I even became the chair when I was on there, which I think I was the first woman chair to be there, and all in Nottoway County. And
Seems Ms. Simmons has expressed an extremely passionate desire to be re-elected as supervisor. She definitely feels like she has skin in the game. She cares about her community, the constituents. And and here she's talking about some current problems that face the Nottoway County Board of Supervisors.
and then Jack Green passed away, but before Jack passed, he asked me would I consider going on the Board of Supervisors. So I told him yes, I would, and that's how I ended up on the Board of Supervisors. They appointed me after Jack died. I was appointed. And then after that, I had to run that same year. And so I won that election. And after that election, then I ran again. I had someone to run against me 4 years ago. And same person is running against me this year, plus another person. But I bring a lot of experience to the Board of Supervisors, because I've worked my way up and I know how things work, how things are supposed to work. And I care. I care about the county, and I care about the school system, and I care. I mean, that's my main focus is I care about what's going on. It's not for fame or fortune. I mean, what we're paid as a supervisor is very embarrassing, but it's something every day. So it's $500 a month. So if people think that that's a great amount of money, it's not. No, no. I'm not doing it to pay my bills because I definitely could not pay my bills off of that particular salary. But I enjoy it. I enjoy doing things for the county, and I try as hard as I can to get different resources and things. And actually, we have a issue going on right now, whereas it's in the General Assembly for Prince Edward to run water lines into Nottoway to come through Burkeville to the state facilities. We have 3 state facilities. And it was a project that I was working on for the county and for the town of Crewe, because town of Crewe is the one that is supplying the water to VCBR, Piedmont, and the prison, Nottoway Correctional. And I had gotten this law firm to come in to help us because they had the connections. They had the connections with the governor and with where they could get they could tell us how to get the state funds, how to get grants and everything in order to fix the infrastructure problem that we have. But my board didn't even want to sit down and talk to these people, to have a meeting with them. And I also approached Crewe about it, and Crewe didn't want the same thing. They want nothing to do with it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe it was because I was a Black woman.
Okay, folks, she didn't hold back. She has said that she dropped the R word, and basically saying that's a big holdup in local area Nottoway County politics. Let's see what else she has to say.
Because I'm putting my town and my county ahead of anything. I'm not out to be glorified or pat on the back for doing anything. I want Crewe, Burkeville, Blackstone to survive. And the way things are going now, I don't see that that's going to happen.
Well, it seems that Ms. Simmons has no problem expressing herself, letting everybody know exactly how she feels. Maybe that's what we need in Nottoway, a little bit more transparency. I talked to Ms. Simmons about some of the things that were going on and some of the issues that are facing the county now, and she basically said that a lot of the things that are being pushed to the front and talked about as major problems, they didn't have to be that way because there had been pushes in the past to correct these things while they were just beginning to be a problem instead of the disasters that they are now. And let's listen to what she has to say.
Well, if people think about it, which I've told them in the past, I said, if we don't do something about Crewe and their infrastructure, and if we allow Prince Edward to come into our county, then Prince Edward's going to take over our county. And if they come into Burkeville, and Burkeville doesn't have a very large population, and it's an older population in Burkeville, because that's where you grew up at, was in Burkeville. And there's an older population there. And if anything comes in from another county, those people in Burkeville are not going to be able to afford hikes in water or whatever. I mean,
we got into a little bit about the purpose of the Board of Supervisors and how she feels about her job and how she feels the county may be headed in the wrong direction because, it's Nottoway County is a democracy. We live in a democracy, and it should be, led by the opinion of the majority of the people in the county, when it seems that, like a lot of other counties in this country, a small select group is trying to take over and administrate the county, right down to the personal rights and freedoms of the citizens of that county. Let's hear what Ms. Robinson has to say on this issue.
I think it's more of more of one group of people seem to be leading the county, one group of people. Instead of listening to your whole county, we have over 15,000 people in Nottoway County. And when you get a group of people, just that little group that thinks that everything that they say is supposed to go, and that's not the way it is. There are other people out there you have to consider that didn't tell you what they wanted, but you have to make the best decision for all of the people in Nottoway, not just for a certain group of people, but you have to make it for all of them. That decision that you make is for all, and which I tell people, if I can't lay down at night and be comfortable laying down at night, then I have to have a clear conscience when I go to sleep at night and know that I made the best decision that I possibly could for my county.
We eventually got around to talking about some of her dreams and desires, not only for herself personally, but for the county that she serves on as a member of the Board of Supervisors, and hopefully she wants to be reelected to that same position. But let's hear her thoughts on the advancement of Nottoway County and her personal growth.
But I want something to come out of those meetings. I want to advance. I want Crew to grow. I want Nottoway to grow. I want us to be like some of these other little towns. I mean, we don't have a grocery store.
We talked about the impact of not having a supermarket in one end of the county, being located where you had to drive 14 miles east or west to get to a full-service supermarket. Here's Mrs. Robinson's opinions on why this situation actually is actually a problem today. Why it actually exists.
But I want something to come out of those meetings. I want to advance. I want Crew to grow. I want Nottoway to grow. I want us to be like some of these other little towns. I mean, we don't have a grocery store. Do you think a supermarket would want to come into a town that have infrastructure and water problems?
We talked about the disparity as far as development. It seems that anything that's good or any development towards growth is only occurring in the eastern end of the county, in the Blackstone area, whereas the other two towns in the county, Crew and Burkeville, seem to be basically dying on the vine. Let's see what she had to say about this. She brought up some interesting points.
I mean, I'm saying just like it is. Blackstone is the one that's building up. They have their apartments and they are with Fast C at Port Barfoot, and people coming from different areas to work there. There may be people that move in because they are working with Fast C in those apartments. So Blackstone is really building up. I mean, they're fixing the sidewalks, they're doing the lighting, they're doing different things. And when you get to Crew and Burkeville, that's where it likes. You know, there's so many things that needs to be done. Crew needs to be revitalized downtown. They need the infrastructure. There's nothing there. I mean, we have Hardee's, we have Sundays, Luigi's sometime. We have Dining Crew, the little diner downtown. Marino's. I think that's basically it. And we have Yoda's, which is really good. They have fresh meat where they slice your meat and make sandwiches and stuff like that. And then we have Super Dollar, Dollar General, and Family Dollar. And we don't, and that's about it. Yeah, we have Valero's, we have Exxon, we have Perks, and Fastmart. Liquor store is up at the other corner. Yes, liquor store. That's at the other corner of where Star Value used to be.
Ms. Simmons and I were both products of the first big push towards desegregation integration in the state of Virginia, and actually in the United States. We were in the first classes to get integrated. I think we were both in 7th grade when we went to junior high school, Crew Junior High School. And I was asking, I asked her, about the state of racism, which she's already said is a problem in Nottoway County. But I was asking her about the state of racism. A couple of things that seem to, be part of the public opinion of the racist attitudes. And this is what she had to say about racism in Nottoway County.
That is coming out of Blackstone? No. Mm-mm. No. No. Mm-mm. It's a little bit of all over. Mm-hmm.
We talked about one of the biggest area of, I guess, county concern, uh, shenanigans, county shenanigans, and that's a lot of the hoopla in Nottoway County right now revolves around the Nottoway County School Board, like the situation with accreditation and the situation with behavioral problems, violence in the schools, and perhaps even sexual assaults. And this is what Ms. Robinson had to say on that subject.
I think a lot of it is a lot of it shouldn't have hit the newspaper, basically. Um, that's where you have a lot of problems. A lot of things can be solved in house instead of you putting it out there and then getting everybody all upset. Right. And the school system is going to go by whatever the rules and regulations are. And they can't break those rules and regulations. And when it comes to children, you have certain rules and regulations that you have to follow. And you can't put things out there about kids that you could put out there about an adult. So you have to treat it that way. And of course, if it was my child, of course I would be upset if something happened to my child. But I would want to protect my child also. So I think the school system it's a good school system. Next year for election, it's going to be quite a turnover on the school board, and so we'll see how they go from there. Hopefully that they'll work together for the betterment of our children and the county and our school system.
Ms. Robinson has a wealth of experience working with county administration on the school board and on the board of supervisors. I asked her, I said, can you contrast your proudest moment against your weakest memory from serving on the board of supervisors?
Moment. I would say my proudest moment is when all of us as a board can sit down and talk together, get along together. And when we leave that room, we are not upset, we are not mad, we're not angry, because what we're doing is making decisions for the county. On the same, around the same thing, not getting along, not focusing on what is the importance of you being on a board, of you being a representative. That's right. I mean, because when you feel like you haven't gotten anything accomplished because there's always some problem that comes up and you can't move forward, then that's a problem. We're here to fix things, not to hinder them. And we have so many projects in Nottoway that needs to be done. I mean, we have the courthouse, we have the animal shelter. That just so many things that needs to be fixed in Nottoway.